No. This is a PG show. I'm not gonna go all Tourette's on the stream right now.
Hello and welcome to the Pixel Scandal Nerdcast. Today we're a PG show, apparently. And, I'm Kurt.
Hi, Kurt.
Where's my fucking window? Oh, there it is. Hi!
And it lasted 10 seconds.
We were PG for this long. So close. So close, everybody.
We didn't
But
make it for very long.
No, it didn't last very long, but that's okay. Because we've got an awesome show tonight. I feel like that's a thing they say on talk shows a lot. Like, you just start by saying, we've got an awesome show for you tonight.
We've got a horrible show for you tonight, guys.
Yeah, no, it's going to be great. So I'm Kurt.
of that.
I'm here to talk about shit. I've also got Night Sun over there. What's up, Night Sun? I got a res.
Well, depending on where you're looking, but I don't know. I actually haven't looked at the stream.
You and me are up. We are up.
Nothing.
You guys
Nothing
are
is
up tonight.
What's going on, Areztez? I got Areztez below me here.
Below
No,
you.
nothing.
That year.
Nothing at all is going on.
Uh,
You dragged me off of Guild Wars to come do this thing, so
Well, that's all right.
You
Well,
still
I
playing
mean,
that
it's
nonsense?
Saturday at
yeah,
8
it's fun.
o'clock.
I like it.
It's podcast time.
All right. And Gidget, how are you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling great.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad everybody could make it to hang out with us. And thanks to anybody watching the chat. Hi and welcome.
Hi, welcome, chat.
Say hi in the chat if you want. We might talk back.
Okay.
Or don't. Be introverted. We don't.
Or don't. Hey,
No.
it's up to you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Your keyboard, your choice. So this is the Nerdcast, and you're looking at Pixel Scandal.
Yeah.
If you're into this sort of thing, and you're like, I would love to contribute to such a show. I just wish they would talk about the thing that I want them to talk about. You know what? We might do that. All you have to do is email us, pixelscandal@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on Twitter, pixelscandal, at pixelscandal on Twitter. Yep. I made it.
So
I did
we're
it, guys.
Pixel Scandal at Pixel Scandal?
Yes.
Yes.
If you go to twitter.com/pixelscandal, you're going to find us. That's where we are. You can
Yep.
come say hi.
Yep.
If you don't like Twitter, email us. If you don't like that, I don't know, watch us live and comment in the chat.
We're on the Facebooks.
We got
Aren't
a Facebook?
Aren't we?
Probably.
No, we're
You know
I don't
what?
think
If
we
you
are.
message us on Facebook and I didn't see it, I am sorry. I will go check it.
Maybe-
You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to check it right now.
Maybe we don't have a Facebook. I might be lying.
No, I'm gonna check it now.
I am not the social media person in charge of that.
Facebook.
I want to see that we do, in fact, have a Facebook because that's that Endo put for, that actually created the group. And he
Let's
keeps
see.
accidentally posting in one or the other.
Okay. So Night Sun, what are our announcements for tonight? That came out weird.
Well,
Announcements.
If you were somehow about 11 hours in the past, we just finished doing our episode 4 of Dungeon World, and I'm sure we'll talk more about that later. So
In depth.
I'm sure that'll show up on YouTube whenever Kurt here pushes a magic button.
Magic button.
I honestly don't know how buttons work, but I just assume he pushes.
I am also not in charge of the button pushing, so I don't know how that works.
Yeah. I you know what? We do have one, but it is pixelscandal.com for some reason. So if you're looking for the Pixel Scandal page, you can find it at pixelscandal.com. You know, I'm going to deal with that cuz I haven't given Facebook enough love, and some people still like Facebook.
Or our website. I mean, whatever.
Well, fucking okay.
So what are our other
Call me out.
announcements, Night Sun?
So, keeping on theme with the train wreck that we've continued here,
Yeah.
we will have an additional Dungeon World game on August 11th at 9 a.m., which, for those of you who have calendars, is next month.
Yeah. It's the second Saturday of the month.
Second Saturday.
Second Saturday. It's really easy to remember.
Yeah.
Night Sun, will you in fact be here for that episode?
I am going to say sometime.
Okay.
I unfortunately have no idea what my schedule is going to be like. I'm gonna try. It will be definitely a try.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we're gonna
We'll
talk about it
figure it
later,
out.
but we just ended sort of a little bit of a story bit, so we
Moving
might
right along.
yeah.
And then tomorrow we will have our weekly game thingamajigger. Do we ever give that a proper title? Probably not. Or if we did, nobody told me.
Sunday game night.
Sunday game night.
Yeah, sure. Sunday game
Pixel
night.
Scandal game night, I think is what we call it.
I have no idea what we'll be playing. We'll probably just audible it and grab something random and play it.
Yeah. Come hang out with us. We'll talk and play games.
It'll be great. It'll be super great.
It's super fun.
Cool. So, what is everyone excited about?
You know, it's a little ways off, but I'm starting to get really excited about Strategicon. There's a convention that I go to in LA in the very beginning of September. This time it's end of August, beginning of September. And I have to start planning my games that I'm going to run at that. So getting kind of excited for it.
Are you making something? Are you actually going to be running something this year?
So I ran Nuclear Night School last time in in February, and it went like really well. And so I ran it again for JackerCon, which is an online convention. I was really pleased with it. But now I want to start fleshing out character advancement. Yeah, I want to do a sequel. So I want to flesh out a little more of the character advancement, see where some of the because I want to build some I'll get into it later if we want to talk about it more, but I want to build some more progression on top of what Standard Savage Worlds has, and so I want to test that out in the next adventure. But cool. I'm excited to get down there and run that stuff.
Yeah, he spent some time talking at me about it and telling me the things he wanted to add, and we did some cool brainstorming on more things to add to his system, which is it's going to be neat. It should be interesting. I like what he's working on right now. So.
Yeah.
Something that I'm excited about that I did not purchase, but Kurt did, and it's the same monies, so I purchased it. So our guest star, way back, I don't know, episode 4 or something, when we had Michael Perez on from the Meat Cartel, his comic book that he was talking about in that episode released this week.
It's like a graphic novel or something.
His graphic novel, yeah, which can be picked up on Amazon for $15 dues. And it's called El Frio.
El Frio. And it's about a young luchador, I think. I don't know. From the cover, it seems like it's about a young man who becomes a luchador to fight monsters, which seems like it's right up your alley, Night Sun.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, it's almost as if I have heard this story before, but in one of our games.
It's like he was watching us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's by Michael Perez and Jim Gamble.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that.
If El Frio doesn't solve murders, or if El Frio does solve murders, we're going to have copyright infringement.
Yeah. He's infringing on your IP?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Squish. Yeah.
On your identified patient?
Yes.
No.
Your identified patient? Yeah, I don't think
That's what those words mean in my
address.
life. IP means identified patient.
It's your internet protocol.
Yeah. So cool.
And I see something written in green here, and we all know who puts green text. So what do you?
Yeah, Monster Hunter World on PC got an announcement. Release date is August 9th.
Ooh.
So before World of Warcraft, probably. So we should all get that instead of BFA and play a good game together. Out there. So yeah, you guys need to all go get it because it's super cool. And
I just hope my laptop will run it.
I don't know. Why your laptop?
Because I'm gonna be the other side of the continent.
Well, we're still gonna play it. Just play it when you get back to the right side of the continent.
Yeah, which will
the left
be
side.
Which will be just about September. So I'm pretty sure you guys will be done with it by then.
Depending on how you look at it, it's the left side of the continent. But
yeah, I don't imagine we're gonna be. I think everybody is gonna do the WoW expansion like we always do. just out of
Yeah.
obligation at this point.
It really is. Like I'm not excited about it at
No.
all, but I'm gonna play it.
I mean, I still
Yeah,
haven't
that's-
officially bought it, but I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Yeah. Like, I have
I
every collector's edition since vanilla, so I'm invested. I have to.
I'm playing it simply because it is an excuse to get a lot of you folks playing a game together.
That is true. We have not all spent a significant amount of time together playing a game in a long time, which is sad.
You guys should all come play Guild Wars too. It's super fun and it's buy to play. And you just actually there's a free to play version that you could get for free. You get 2 character slots. Play the whole game.
Two character slots.
Yeah, both of them.
All right.
Well, cool.
2 whole character slots.
Yeah. I like Guild Wars too. I think it's fun. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
I've never played like Guild Wars or Guild Wars 2. What is that game like?
It is a lot like how, like, you know, that heyday of MMOs, fantasy MMOs, that just a million of them came out.
Mm-hmm.
It is a pretty polished, generic fantasy MMO.
Oh.
Like kind of how WoW was, I don't know, 5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
or Rift, or any of the 300 others that we all played and then stopped playing.
Yeah.
I actually really liked Rift. I don't know why it didn't like hold for me. I bet everyone else just stopped playing it.
I mean, that is one thing. If like everybody else stops playing it, even if you like a game, it's kind of hard to like keep going in an MMO when you don't have any friends.
Yeah. I miss
Gotta get better.
SWTOR. I miss us all playing SWTOR. That was a lot of fun. That was probably some of the most fun I ever had, even though the raids were all horribly broken.
I'm sad they killed that game.
It's still there.
I mean, it's there. It's just like, I don't know. I guess I could pay them the $15, but it feels weird paying for a free-to-play game. But when I don't know, it doesn't feel playable. Like I logged in and tried to use it free-to-play, and it was, I don't know, a confusing mess.
You mean you have
Well,
to
I
pay
think-
for a thing? Ugh.
I think it's an example of a paid free-to-play wing
Yeah.
game, and there's a handful of those.
Yeah.
But if you take it instead from the perspective of, if they didn't have that free-to-play option, your option for free-to-play would be to not play.
Right.
That is true.
Well, and from what I can tell, I mean they made money after going free to play, so whatever they did worked for them. It's just, I don't know. I wasn't a fan of the way they handled it.
Yeah, I was kind of upset that Bless tanked so horribly.
I don't
I was
even know
kind
what
of
that
looking
is.
Yeah, I don't even know what
Bless
that is
Online. It's a MMO that came out recently. I haven't actually played it, but it came out and then it died immediately.
either. Oh.
I don't remember what company it was that was developing it, but apparently they were doing some bad things and none of the players liked it, so everybody just kind of jumped ship right off. But there is another one coming out. I think I mentioned it on here before. I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but it's like a steampunk MMO.
Oh yeah, I remember you
Oh, yeah, you
mentioning
did mention
that.
it.
Yeah,
Do
and
they
that
have
looked
like
really cool.
grappling hooks in that one?
I don't know. You can make airships, and there's like aerial combat in it.
Okay, because I saw a trailer for an MMO, and the ships looked a lot like the ships in Dauntless, but
Okay.
it looked like a core part of the game was these grappling hook things, where you like shot your grappling hook and you could like swing to get to cool place, like to make do interesting
Are you
combat
talking-
jump
are you-
puzzle type shit.
Are you talking about BioShock?
No, it wasn't BioShock. It was an MMO.
This one
They're
is
making an MMO Bioshock?
that actually might be pretty cool. This one is called Ascent Infinite Realm. And it's the developers that made Terra and PUBG. I don't know why they think that's important to designate. Like that's not even MMO.
Oh yeah,
But it's
I
got
think this is it.
airships and dragons. Yeah. I think it
like
looks pretty
airships
cool.
and dragons. That's awesome.
Yeah. You can build an airship and then fight a dragon on your airship with your airship.
All right.
Yeah. Anyways, I think it looks cool. It's not out yet, but
I would have
when it
loved to
comes
see something
out-
like that added for Guns of Icarus.
yeah.
Some actual
Yeah.
PvE content.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think it looks neat, so I'll probably wind up checking that out once it comes out. But I think it's supposed to go into beta sometime in the next couple months. So
Cool.
yeah,
It'd be interesting. The class art is a little all over the place. Like the art style. Like the women look like anime. They look very Final Fantasy, but then the dudes look like God of War art style. It's
hey, we all could just go play Final Fantasy 14.
I still have it installed.
yeah. It's. I mean, I've still got plenty of story to go. I didn't finish the last expansion.
Oh, that's right. You're still trying to grind out through the story quest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they released a booster on the store that you could just purchase and jump through all that stuff.
Fuck that, man. I paid for the game. I'm gonna play the game.
I think it's funny for a game that's the game. Like that is why people.
Yeah.
That is what makes it unique, and the basically playing a single player game worth of like a single player Final Fantasy game worth of story.
And the story's good.
And,
like, it's
and then they sell you you just skip it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Right.
Not sure what that's supposed to be about.
But it is unfortunately very, very difficult. If you're like, oh man, the expansion for that game's coming out. That looks exciting. I want to check that out. Oh god, I still have 40 hours of story before I can touch it.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
And I've done that twice now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I just barely finished the base game the last time. So I was like 2 expansions behind whatever the new one came out, and I finally finished the base game, and I still have to finish the previous expansion to get to the new expansion that came out a while back.
Heaven's Word, I gotta say, was better than the base game as far as story went.
Yeah.
But that's still many, many, many hours.
Yeah.
Just to, catch up and play with your friends, kind of thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a fun game. I was digging it. Bard was super cool.
I like the way that Secret World handled the main story quest and then having all the different side quests, and you'd run out and pick up the side quests out in the world. That was kind of neat. I like their system of main story quest and then side quest.
Mm-hmm.
I still need to go back and finish their first new content in 6 years.
Yeah.
I still have not gotten past the same place that haven't ever gotten past, which is that stupid carnival.
You still haven't passed the carnival?
Yeah. And
Well,
I love
I
that
don't
game, but
I don't even think you got out of the first zone when you started playing the re-release.
the second time, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got busy and had to stop playing. And then other things came out. I was like, I already played this game.
Because the re-release,
I already failed at playing
it's free
this
to play, right? It's 100% free to play?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Is the re-release is 100% free to play, right?
It is 100% free to play. It is. Now personally, I got grandfathered in with the Grandmaster thing, so I am, for all intents and purposes, still subscribed.
Oh, okay.
Because I love the original game so much, so I actually ended up buying here's $200 dues.
Oh, like a lifetime membership
Yeah,
thing?
lifetime membership thing, and that got grandfathered in, which was super cool,
Nice.
but also super dumb on their part, because then they had to account for the fact that half of their subscriber base were getting this stuff for free,
Right.
Mhm.
and so I think it screwed up their monetization model.
Mm.
So into kind of a way that nobody was really happy.
Oh. Because they couldn't really afford to produce the quality content for the money because they're only getting half the money.
Well, if you look at a lot of free-to-play games, one key thing that they offer in their subscriber access is they'll typically do the same old, you get 10% more XP or 10% gold or whatever. And then they go, here's X number of, space bucks that you can go and buy cosmetics or do whatever you will with. But because so many of their base didn't get that or weren't actually paying for that, they couldn't just go, here's free space bucks.
Mm.
Mm.
So it definitely felt like you were getting less value out of your subscribing. But even still, I know Rando, when he came back to play, I think he did completely free to play, and Orestes, I think you did as well, didn't you, or did you actually sub?
No, I did the free to play, but I logged in and ran into the main town, and then I just logged in every day and picked up my login rewards for a couple weeks because I
I
never
thought
had a chance to actually play it.
I thought you were playing with us. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was just me, Endo, and Rando.
I know I started and I was still wearing. I know I had access to that white like pantsuit outfit, which with like the lights in it, which is to me still the best outfit in that game, and it's like one of the starter sets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what made me sad about the original Secret World. I think I was like 2 or 3 skills away from unlocking the full circle, the full pie outfit, and I just never got to it.
You know, you could still go. I think they still have the original game up. You could go in, get it, and then do a fresh character import.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'd probably wait until they're doing the anniversary event again and go fight those world bosses because the XP on those was stupid.
Yeah.
But aside from that, my only complaint about the free to play model was you only got access to 2 weapons at the gate. So it was kind of you got to choose which ones you like and hope that they are the good for you kind of thing.
Right.
But I think you guys would be solid for that anyways, because if you import, you get all the weapons. So
yeah.
Which we did, I think.
Yeah, I think we did that
because we had paid some money, I think, initially to play the game. So
it was buy to play for original.
So we owned the original. But I don't know. The remake was pretty cool. I really dug it. I don't know what it was. I think I was busy at the time, or I was doing something. I couldn't get into the game. Like I just didn't. That's
the same problem I had. I don't know what was going on during that time, but yeah, it was like there just wasn't enough time to play it.
Maybe I'm just getting too old for MMOs. I don't know. Like I don't have the time to drop 20 hours a week into an MMO to really, I don't know.
You
get
are
that
old.
Full immersion,
Anyway, so we kind of already talked about this a little bit, but what we've been playing recently. Have you guys been playing any Dead by Dawn this week at all?
I've been playing way too much of it.
Nice.
I think it's calmed down a little bit for everybody.
End of Line really loved that game, so I figured you guys are still playing it.
Yeah. My biggest complaint is still my original one, where and I don't know how that you would even make this work. Is that there really is no way to facilitate playing with a small group unless you all want to play Survivors. There's no way to go, I want to play with my friends, but I'd like to kill them. Unless you have enough friends to actually make a full group kind of thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I blame them for not having a solution for that, because that just seems exploitative and not viable in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And Orestes, you said you were playing Guild Wars 2 this week.
Yep. Still trudging through it. Well, not. Yeah, still playing it.
Enjoying
I
yourself.
was gonna say trudging. No, I was gonna say trudging through it, but it's like it's not trudging. I'm having fun with it. I'm liking it.
Yeah,
it's hard to level because I keep getting distracted with like events that are happening in the zone. So I'm like running around doing hearts, and it's like, hey, a new event, and I run over, and it's like, well, that wasn't a lot of XP, but it was pretty fun.
Yeah, as I recall, that game's more about the journey. Kind of, you're playing for the level.
Yeah, you're playing like for the story mode and questing and all that good stuff.
The end game is bad or non-existent or something.
I mean,
or at the very least, it's not for everyone, kind of.
Yeah, they have stuff like World v World is a huge part, but I don't partake in PvP. So, I mean, they're gonna have to do dungeons, which I've done a couple now, and they're pretty cool. There's different ways you can go through each one, like different paths. Like you'll go in and talk to an NPC, and the NPC's like, hey, you can either do this, this, or this, and then the option that you choose kind of determines the path through the dungeon that you take. So that's kind of cool.
I gotta say, when I played it a little bit, maybe for like a couple weeks, about a year ago. Endo was into it, and so I was like, I'll give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
And I really did like the kind of choose your own adventure storyline. Like the main storyline going through the game. You're like, I grew up in a circus and I did this, and I think you only make 3 or 4 real choices, but the story that you go through is based on those choices. So you do feel like you do get that feeling of, oh, this is my story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like at character creation, one of the options is like, how are you raised? Like I was a noble, or I was raised on the streets, and then whatever option you take, like I always choose, like, well, not always, but on this one I chose like I was a noble. So my level 10 story quest is like, all right, well, you're going to
You picked
a
being
party.
a noble?
Yeah. And so my level 10 story quest is like, all right, well, you got to go to this fancy party and talk to this noble guy who's going to do things. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine, I guess. And man, I really regret not choosing that I grew up in the circus, because that might have been fun.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, that sounds like it'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
The thing that just kind of grinded me on that, and maybe it wasn't fair, but I honestly just felt that I got all of my cool stuff by like level 15.
mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like, well, now I'm bored, and I'm not getting cool stuff anymore.
Well, you get all of your abilities really quick, and there's actually a glitch for one weapon where I forget which weapon it is. I was watching a video the other day where, like, as you level, like I think at like by like level 12 or 15, you have all of your abilities unlocked. But there is a glitch with one build with one weapon where if you equip it and then go into a cutscene and pop out, it just unlocks everything at level 1. So you're just like, hey, I have all my skills. But yeah, you unlock all your skills pretty quick, because you only have like, I think eight like you have like 5 primary abilities and then 5 utility abilities, and the utility abilities you start unlocking slots for those, I think up through like level 30 or something. But the thing is, though, you have these abilities based on the weapons that you equip. So you can equip a pretty decent array of different weapons based on whatever class you are. Like I'm a necromancer right now, so I could use a staff, which is 2-handed weapon, so it has 5 unique abilities, or I could use a scepter in my main hand, or an axe in my main hand. So your main hand weapon gives you your primary 3 abilities, and then with the weapon you wield in your offhand gives you 2 other abilities. So you can kind of like mix and match. Like if I put a dagger in my main hand, all of my attacks become like melee attacks, but I swing really quick. And then if I put like a war horn in my offhand, I get like some AoE utility abilities. So it's kind of neat that you can mix and match that's 2 skilled combos of abilities and stuff like that. So I think that's where a lot of the variance comes from. Oh, yeah.
We got all of it,
I'm
though.
a
It's
robot.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you roboted a little bit.
You roboted a little bit, but we got it all.
Okay.
But yeah, Luda's Life jumped in and she said, that's interesting. It makes me nervous thinking somebody experienced the game differently than me. Like, I want to know what the true story is, and there isn't one with choose your own adventure type games.
Yeah, that's true.
I definitely have a lot of that, when you play a lot of like the old BioWare single player games, like Neverwinter Night, or like the original Baldur's Gate really didn't have this so much, but like the Dragon Age games were really big into this, where the first couple hours of the game were vastly different based on what you chose. And it's an 80-hour game. I am never going to go back and do more than 2. Like I might do my good playthrough and my evil playthrough, but I'm never going to go back and see all 5.
Well, I've
see
done
what comes from them all.
Right.
With Dragon Age specifically, I've done the starting zone for every possible start, and then picked the one I liked from there and just went with that character. Because then, I think the once you get into the main game, like the quests are fairly similar except for like weird side things now and then. But that intro, that like story origin part that changes every time. So
I guess I've done that in WoW. Like I did all the different starting zones in WoW because they're different. But then once you leave the level 5 area, it converges into the same story everybody else gets.
Right.
Well, I think the difference is in an MMO, over time, you know, if you're going to stay invested in that kind of game, inevitably you will roll an alt or
Right.
10, like me.
Or like Kurt, who's an alcoholic.
Yeah, and so you'll get through it, and the ability to choose different, you know, even if it's only 10% of the game that's different, the ability to go, okay, I get a 10% of my game's going to be different every time. That is a godsend to just give you some incentive to not go, all right, well, let's head to the Dead Mines for the 380th time today.
Yeah, but Dead Mines is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I do still like Dead Mines.
Okay, Dead Mines I still like, but Wailing Cave.
Wait, I was gonna say Wailing Caverns. That's a no.
Yeah.
That's a no-go, man.
Yeah. All the water ones in the middle there, I can't stand them.
Yeah.
Um,
So I haven't played anything recently, but I listened to a book recently, and that made me really happy. I finished the Dresden Files briefcases finally, which was really good.
Oh yeah, I have to get that still.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to remind you. When you get home, you're supposed to download.
yeah. If you're a fan of the Dresden Files and you've been holding off on briefcases because it's a side story thing, go ahead and grab it.
It's super worth.
It's 100%. Like, a lot of the stories flesh out things that were kind of left hanging, and then there's some other ones that really are just fun.
And if you're an audiobook listener and you're like, I only want to listen to them if Marsters is voicing them, the stories are voiced by like a full cast of people, but the voices that they have that aren't Marsters they're really good, and he does all of the Harry stories.
Yeah, Marsters does Harry.
So it's really good as an audiobook too, because that's the only way I have time to read books anymore is audiobooks in the car.
Then let me go to Audible.
Yeah, they don't sponsor this show, so we don't have an affiliate link or anything, but if you want to email Audible and be like, why doesn't Pixel Scandal have an affiliate link, I mean, we'll take it. You can do that.
One of the banes and boons of that series is literally the fact of how focused and like to Dresden and to the story at hand.
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't really get a lot of fluff beyond things that are directly relevant to what's going on.
Right.
So there are things that just fall between the cracks, and you don't get it. So the side stories really do add to the universe,
and
answer a lot of things.
The side characters are actually really interesting and have a lot of depth to them. There just isn't a lot of time, and the books are told in that first person narrative, so you can't really go too much into them. So it's really great to have these kind of side stories where you get more in depth about Marcone and Butters and Molly
and in some cases, these are written between books and sent out to other people's anthologies. And so he'll reference characters from the side books in other stories. Like in some books, he'll reference characters that I just now found out who they were because there's 3 stories about them in the book, right?
Right.
So it was really fun to listen to. I'm still not done, actually. I can't remember which one I just finished. Marcone? I think I just finished Marcone.
Story, yeah.
Yeah, there's Marcone's perspective.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, personally, I could use a full Molly book.
Oh, yeah.
Start to finish, yeah.
Yeah. I would love like a side Molly companion series that just like goes right along the same time frame as the Harry Dresden, but it's just Molly's experiences.
I would love them to do an Ender's Game, Ender's Shadow of telling the same story but for different eyes. I think that would be very cool.
It's like the last story in the book where it is told through 3 different eyes. Yeah. I read a review where someone was like, they told the same story 3 times. And then I listened to it and I was like, this is amazing. I love that I got it 3 different ways. Like, this is so great. Because, I mean, that's how we all see the world, right? Like, we all see it from our own perspective and our own experiences. And just because Harry sees the world in a certain way doesn't mean everybody else does. So I thought it was great. That is my review of briefcases without giving away spoilers.
Yeah. I actually got to play Shadowrun this week. I'm in technically weekly Shadowrun game
An
where we
inconsistently
play
weekly game.
every 2 to 3 weeks. But so this last game was actually really fun. We spent most of it bickering about who was going to buy the drugs. Because we needed
That sounds like a Shadowrun game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we needed. So my character is an addict. Big surprise.
What?
But
my
to
dear
BTLs,
God.
like
Bert,
he's
really?
he's addicted to BTLs. But I'm not
Oh, that
playing
makes
him.
him-
I'm not playing him as someone who's like constantly on them. Like I took the addict hindrance, but he's not taking them. So I'm just making the rolls and taking the negatives until
You're not
something
taking
happens
them as
that forces
potions?
him. No. I'm not like, yeah, go drugs. It's like I'm basically that, like, 10th step, right? into AA, where he's still like jonesing, but he's trying not to. But we have this plan where we're supposed to go. Okay, so we have to. One of the things we have to do is deal with some Halloweeners who are driving a 747 converted into a bus around the Barrens and messing with shopkeeps. So we have to deal with that problem. We also have to deal with some Lone Star guys who have been roughing up what's the word for like orcs and things?
Metahumans.
Metahumans. I kept wanting to say metas. And
We've been watching a lot of The Flash.
right, so we did some research on the Lone Star guy, and he's super into this, like, one Doom Jazz player. And so our plan was to kidnap the Doom Jazz player and then spoof his signal like he's on the Halloweeners bus, so that this, like, hopped up Lone Star guy just goes and deals with the other problem for us and hopefully dies in the process. And, like, one of the problems gets sorted out. But we're like, well, we're going to need drugs to convince this, like, musician guy to come party with us. And I'm sitting there like, I'm not buying the drugs. But I didn't say that. I was like, all right, so who's going to, like, is this my problem? Because they kept, like, asking my character questions about what kind of drugs should we get. And I finally was just like, is this my problem? Or, like, who's going to get the goddamn drugs? Like, who? and both of them, like, got pissed and left, and both spent about 1,000 new yen on drugs and came back with duffel bags. So now we have 2 duffel bags of drugs. Because they didn't talk to each other. They just both got mad at me and left and bought drugs themselves. So I'm very excited for our next game when we actually try to kidnap this guy with 2 duffel bags full of drugs. Oh, and I filled my, I have the, my cyber arm has, like, finger compartments. And one of them is a gas grenade, so I filled it with a neurotoxin, just in case. So I'm excited about that, how that might go out. That's going to be fun.
I love anything in Shadowrun that is followed by just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case. I mean,
we brought a rocket launcher just in case.
So the problem I found with this game, we play for 2 hours, usually. 2 to 3, like, every couple of weeks. But what we'll do is we'll prep for the mission and cut, like, oh, we'll pick up with the mission next game, and then we skip a couple weeks because everybody's busy, and we come back and we're like, shit, what were we doing? And then we plan for a whole nother session again.
Oh, no.
Because we forgot what we planned. And so we've done that, I think this is the 3rd planning session to kidnap this guy, because we keep forgetting what we planned last time.
Or maybe you just don't really want to kidnap him.
I mean, I don't know. We have the drugs now, though. We didn't have drugs before, so I'm pretty sure we're going to kidnap him next time. I'm pretty sure.
Kidnapping is
It might happen.
imminent.
That was a fun game. We spent the whole time in the hideout bickering about who was going to do what. So that worked well.
Nice.
Fair enough.
Well, today we played Dungeon World.
Yeah, we did.
It was our 4th session. Does anybody want to, like, recap what happens or talk about anything interesting? I mean, spoilers, if you really want to watch it, go back and watch it and then come back and watch this episode.
Don't watch this if you haven't watched that and don't like spoilers.
Yeah, because we're going to talk about the game we did this morning. So
Yeah.
if you're watching those actual plays,
We will not be offended if you hit pause and go watch it, and then
this is your warning.
Yeah.
Anyway, so something I found really interesting about today's game was the way Kurt dealt with the, like, chaos mechanic of the rift. that we were playing with, where everybody who touched it started becoming bits and pieces of a chimera?
I would care more about it if I wasn't lying on the floor dying from being fireballed a second time.
I mean, I did say it at the end of the game, but I didn't realize that Fireball had splash damage.
No, I very specifically pointed it out.
God is
early
my
on.
witness. I thought turkeys could fly.
No, but I can only prep 4 spells, right? On level 3.
Four levels of spells.
Right. So I prepped Fireball and Invisibility.
Yeah, because that draws a lot of attention, Fireball.
Invisible fireballs. And I didn't prep Magic Missile, so...
Hey, it worked.
I mean, I think...
Why do you keep talking about casting Fireball? Those all came from the sword.
Oh my gosh.
The delayed cast.
That was
from
so
the sword.
amazing, because while you were like, okay, I pull out the sword and I was thinking, okay, when he's done with his thing, I'm gonna drop to the floor and hit him from the underside like I did earlier, and it'll be the soft underbelly. And it just... I had already planned to do that when you were like, this is the sword, where it only does 1 damage, but it cast delayed fireball. It was great. That was amazing.
So something I'm kind of happy. I haven't done this too much in games, maybe I do, and I just hadn't noticed it before. But I was really trying to have like, okay, this town has a little tale to tell, right? Like you guys are gonna find something interesting here. It's gonna happen and it's gonna end, and then we can like move to the next town. That way, because I kind of wanted to have like little starts and little beginnings and ends for this game, and so I feel like this was the first this was a mini end, right? Like we ended this town's story arc. Like this was the 4 episode. Or 3 episode, because this was the first game was character gen.
Yeah.
So this was like the 3 episode arc, and then next time we have like next town you hit, right? Like we get another 3 episode arc. How did you guys feel about the like conclusion of that that little story arc in this town? Like,
I think it ended out pretty well for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and all your stupid statues completely taking out the fact that I'm the one who did all the work.
Well, I mean, so here's the thing. I'm really curious if like did it feel like a satisfying end to that little arc? Like were there questions left that you guys were upset?
I feel like the end of this arc, like now that we're about to pick up and leave town, I feel like the ending of this arc is something that is in line with the ending of basically any other town that William and Three Fort have left.
So this was like walk in, turn the place over, leave being a god.
Yeah, turn the place upside down, make everybody like loot the entire city, take the only things of value in town, and then leave with all of the people thinking that we're awesome. Or more to the point, William is awesome. I don't want them to remember I was there.
Right.
Yeah. I think what I really enjoyed about today's game is, it's always been clear, but I think it really showed everybody's character's personality and the strengths within our group. Like, William pulled all that attention and got everybody facing him so that, like, the rest of us could kind of, like, do other things. And that's what William likes, is to get all the attention, but it also was kind of a distraction at the same time. Three Fort was able to kind of sneak his way away from the group, and no one even, like, paid attention to the fact that he was really there to go off and mess with the Thieves Guild. And Forrest got to punch things. Mm-hmm. And now he has a big scary pet.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Hopefully the big scary pet is more effective than he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
well,
and
don't
I
know,
got to
he's
do some
pretty
cool
effective.
magic and be a part of the like elf history stuff that we've kind of established in this world. And I think this last episode really had like bits and pieces. Like we all had to sit there and watch everybody else kind of be cool, but we all got a chance to be cool.
I think we're for a game that is a lot of improv on everybody's part. I think we've started to establish some like world lore, which is really interesting for me as the GM, getting to like sprinkle in little bits of like overall meta plot type stuff. I especially like the way the riffs are turning out, how that feels in the game. Especially if this game turns into going from town to town looking for rifts and closing them. I think that could be a fun
Okay,
full
except
campaign.
we have to find a different way to close these because I can't keep losing all of the blood in my body every time we need to close a rift.
Yeah, you're gonna have to work on that.
We're gonna have to figure something out. I was telling Kurt in the car earlier today. I'm like, I'm gonna need to start like filling vials full of blood for you guys, so you guys just have a backpack of my blood in case I'm not around and you come across a rift and you're like, oh crap.
Well, I think
she's not here. Let's
Yeah, well, I think maybe that's one session, right? Is you trying to find like it's how do I figure out how to fix this problem in a way that doesn't kill me every time.
Yeah,
and
because
like
I got
that's
real
a
close,
session,
guys.
right?
Like, if I didn't have that arcane warding thing that gave me armor today, I would have totally died.
Yeah. One thing I felt like I dropped the ball on was the red cap who recognized Three Fort. I feel like he should have been, because I basically just forgot he was there in the last fight. Like he should have been there. Like or at least with you guys, and known that you were going to turn. Like, oh, I knew you'd do this. Like, and jump, and then you could have had like Three Fort and him fighting in that initial fight with all the red caps.
I mean, I feel like there were a lot of fireballs being flown around. He was probably there and just didn't have enough time before he got
right
burned to the ground.
I mean, there were, but
so on the topic of the fireball is not that much stronger than Magic Missile. Magic Missile's 2d4 up to 2d6.
Yeah.
So we're talking 1 average damage more. 1.
Yeah, because it's 2d6 for fireball.
Yeah, but fireball hits nearby targets.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm not even talking about the AoE capability. I mean, she never did more than 3 damage with a magic missile in the previous 3 games.
Yeah.
She never did less than 6, and that was once. Every other time was 8+.
Right.
Yeah,
I also
there were a
couldn't
lot of
hit
8s.
before because I was level 1 and now I'm level 3, so my ability to succeed is better, which is great.
Your additional +1 did not come into this at all. You were rolling nothing but 10s and 12s.
Last time luck hated me, and this time it was like, all right, fine, we'll be nice.
Yeah.
I think I got
Rule of
like 2
averages.
XP for shitty rolls today.
I didn't realize how until the end of the game, and Hendor was like, yeah, I've got like 5 XP. It's like, holy shit, we did so badly last week.
We were so bad last time. I mean, I leveled up to level 3. I mean, that's how badly I did the entire game.
Yeah.
So
I also I think I asked for a lot more rolls the previous session. Just because I think I was being too I was using it like another system. Like I was just asking for rolls instead of making sure that we had waited for the trigger. For things to happen. So that's something I was more careful about this time.
I gotta say, I definitely was not as angry at the end of this game about the amount of like rolls and because the previous game, I mean, granted, I didn't fail as much this time, so of course I'm not going to end the game feeling as angry and hateful towards Dungeon World and you. Sorry, the pug is snoring underneath my legs.
Pug is snoring.
But I did not feel like I was asked for as many pointless rolls this time, where I was like, why am I being asked for a roll? So I think you've kind of found your comfort zone in that.
Hit my stride with that.
Yeah. Definitely.
Something else I want to be careful about is instead of asking you to defy danger, giving you the danger and asking if you want to defy it.
Yeah.
Because technically you could just say, no, I don't want to roll that. Just do the thing to me. Like,
Right,
that
when
doesn't
I was
sound
like,
that bad,
I'm
just
going
do
to
it.
take the energy, whatever, that's going to get shot at me. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to take it.
Yeah.
I mean, if Forrest wanted to jump in front of it, that's not my problem. But
So
I love
you-
the swarm of spiders, though. That was amazing.
swarm of spiders. Yeah, I made a designer pets generator, which you roll 3d6 a couple of times to generate monster moves, and then you just pick an animal that kind of fits those moves, right? And so I don't have like a list of like rabbit, spider, whatever, but I think the move that you rolled when you became spiders was like swarm over them. And so I was like, okay, the first swarmy thing that came to mind was spiders. And I was like, yeah, you are definitely a pile of spiders.
Which totally fits your, like, thieving personality.
Yeah, I think because I did just hit level 3, so my microphone was breaking out when you were saying what I would need to do to keep that as a permanent thing.
Yeah.
So I didn't hear what that was, but I just hit level 3, so
Druid?
Yeah, you can
I'd
take
have to take level of
the
Druid?
shape. You could just take the shape shifting ability from Druid
Okay, cool.
as like a
That
multi-class.
sounds great. I'm going to do that and go into Spider Swarm and just walk around as a human-shaped pile of spiders wearing a hood and then a cloak. And when people move the hood off my cloak, I'm just going to fall into a pile of spiders and scare them.
So
That's
you're
awesome.
just taking the 3 goats in a trench coat to like the 11th degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To whatever power it takes to get enough spiders.
Yeah.
3 goats in a
Yep.
trench coat.
So did you guys?
Oh.
I'm curious. Did you guys feel like there were any unresolved things in the town that I kind of rushed past at the end there?
I mean, the only thing that I felt rushed through is that the shopkeeper was like, yeah, I'll give you whatever you want. And I was in, like, still a moment of, like, okay, so I was about to be dead, and I'm not dead, and I've rested, and now we're ending. Okay, so I didn't really think up anything cool to ask for.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing that I was like, wait, I want something cool. I don't know what it is, but I want something cool.
Yeah. So I think like we'll probably we'll push time forward before we play that game again, and then we'll just have like an interlude of like, here's what happened in between, and like talk about the things you gained and the levels you gathered and how those work for you. But
you did say earlier that next time we were going to be playing demigods. That you very, very specifically said that on the stream during the
did.
game. You said next time we'll play demigods.
I said we might have to play demigod since he's a demigod now.
Yep, that sounds great. Let's do that.
Now that's another question. I'm open to pausing Dungeon World for a little while, running a 1-shot in between, or like a 2-shot, and then going back to Dungeon World, or adding something in on an off day. I'd love to run demigods. I think that would be really
So
fun.
like, I'm a huge fan. I didn't realize that I was such a huge fan of this until we started doing it with the What's in the Box and Nat. I love shared worlds where 2 different games are in the same world, and it's like, I'm playing this character now, but I was playing that dude in a different game. So it's like, I like the interaction between 2, like, not necessarily competing or rival sets of player characters, but I do like having different games in the same world where it's like how you were saying about the last book in the Dresden. You get to see it from 3 different sides,
Mhm.
the
Oh,
same
yeah.
story. I like that. I like playing games like that where it's like when we were playing Nat and What's in the Box, and then in What's in the Box we were all being chased down in the pier by the guards, and we were like, how did they find us? And then we were playing What's in the Box, and then my character was like, they're over there. And come to find out, that character's
Yeah.
the guards after our other characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that was neat. That was cool
Yeah.
how that worked. So yeah, I like the share story type thing. So I wouldn't even mind if it were a different system.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I
also
love-
thought that specific moment in the Nat What's in the Box crossover, when we had gone through like this whole big thing in What's in the Box, and then we play it in Nat, and we like basically it kind of felt like like a time travel game because we knew what our other characters were doing at the moment, but we weren't metagaming, but we were still like running around in the same general area. And like at one point we needed to get the guards to go a different way, and we're like, well, we know they chased us in that other game. They're over there. I mean, you know, it's just exactly.
It was like the game where you're solving for a paradox, right? Like,
right.
Well, I know information because of this other thing. Let's just solve this paradox.
Yeah, like we were all really pretty good about not metagaming until that one moment where we're like, no, this is we have too much information here. There's no way we can't point something out.
Yeah, well, and I think we had, because in that other game, the one where we're acting on information that we didn't have, our patrons had a like a prophet or something, or someone with like vision ability, like they glimpsed the future, so they had a little bit of info, like go here, do this at this time, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So we got a little bit of that like time cop where we knew just enough to make the timelines line up and make in an interesting way. So I thought that was a really cool way to do that too.
I've been really enjoying that aspect of it. I just wished it was 10, 15 years ago when we all have infinite time to waste prepping and doing this stuff and playing a weekly game and doing all that.
Or it was our only 2 games that we were playing. Like, because, I mean, I don't know. We've got the Dungeon World thing. We've got other stuff that comes up every so often. So
I think a lot of it has to do with us all being in our 30s and not our 20s anymore too. Yeah. Because when we were in our 20s, we would just like, okay, we're gonna show up on a Friday night and start playing at 7 and end at 3 a.m. and then, you know, well, fuck tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow's problem. Yeah, but we don't. You know, we just don't have that kind of gaming endurance or time, really. I mean, yeah. We can't play every Saturday anymore, which definitely is impeding on our fun times.
Yeah, especially when we had to drop double game days.
You guys are quitters.
I mean, for a while we would do double Saturdays where we would play a game in the morning and then a game in the afternoon, or afternoon and then evening.
Yeah.
But
and
anyway,
then doing those 2 weeks 2 times a month.
Yeah.
There are times where we would go to the library for the first game at 8, second game at 12, and then go back to Gordon's house at 5.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, today's Dungeon World game I felt like was really fun. It was a really good wrap-up of this little story that we were doing over this last 3 episodes. I feel like our characters learned a bit more about the world, which was interesting. So yeah, I think we're also learning a little bit about each other, which is kind of nice. Like, you know, those 2 are over there talking like mad shit about us and how Forrest and I make too much chaos and remember the good old days when we used to blah 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 blah. But I thought all that was really funny and interesting because it was definitely like character interaction where there wasn't anything going on. You're just walking down a hallway, but you're just kind of talking about like, you know, the good old days or whatever. I don't know, that kind of stuff. I like that stuff. So yeah.
I'm gonna heal myself and draw unwanted attention. Oh God, here they come.
Yep, exactly. So
yeah. So yeah, I think we should play. I just really want to play Demigods. That's all there is to it. I don't have an excuse. I just really want to play Demigods, so I'll take any excuse.
I mean, that game is really fun. I played it once. I think Gidget played it twice at Orcon, the con down in LA in February. The guy who's writing it's still in beta, and it is very much beta. It's basically just playbooks and like what damage, like what damage items do and stuff like that. Yeah. But there's no like GM moves or principles or anything yet. And I think it probably needs a couple more basic moves. Like I know when I watched, because he did a 9 episode actual play of it, and there were times when he was like, I think I want you to take take a powerful blow, And that's a move from Masks. Like, he just borrowed a move from another PBTA game when he needed it, but
If
it
it's
didn't...
not in the book, it's, other people can't know to use it.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's not in his thing. So if you're not super familiar with PBTA and how you like to run it anyways, it's like you're gonna struggle, I think, if you're not super familiar with PBTA. But I do have the playtest.
Amazing.
Yeah, I do have the playtest materials. The playbooks are really solid. I have to say that they all feel very unique, and they have like their own way of working. And they the like, I think they're called strings or tangles. Tangles. The bonds between the characters really set up how that character interacts with other people, because it's just the way that they're put together. So I'd be down to run it, especially as a one shot. Get in there and try it out.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I mean, yeah, I think it'd be really cool if we did something else. But I also like our Dungeon World games, so whatever the consensus is on that, I'm happy either way.
I'm getting apprehensive about Dungeon World because when I leveled today, I was looking at the Thief playbook and I was like, nothing else looks good. So that's why when you're like, you could take Druid. Yes, I'll absolutely take Druid.
Well, I think you have
that solves the immediate problem.
Rogue has a multi-class dabbler, right? Where you
I
can
remember seeing it, but I'll have to look again.
Oh, okay. So maybe you can't. I'm not sure. I have to look at actually how the things work. I might just edit that and just say everyone has at least one multi-class feat that they can take, because I know like Fighter and Bard have a lot of, like, Fighter and Bard get a lot of the multi-class.
Bard get 3, Fighter get 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Thief might not get one. I'd have to check. But I mean, story-wise, you narratively have qualified for it. So I definitely think you could, especially if you're gonna stick with the theme of I turn into a ball of spiders. You totally qualified for it narratively. So
yeah.
You're just learning how to draw on the energy of the rifts instead of
they
from
don't.
Gaia. They don't have any multi-class.
Doesn't
I might
look
just
like
mod it. I'll just give it to him because it fits with the story. Like, it's more interesting, I think, than forcing you to stick with it. But
cool.
Yeah. So something else that I was thinking about. I was rereading Steve Lichtman. I don't know if you guys have read Steve Lichtman. I posted it in our Discord, but it's like a old ass web comic about a lich who's like he's like depressed and wants to die, but no one can kill him, and so he's just sort of sad all the time. He's like a sad dead lich with no friends. So he's the first panel, like the first comic, is he's like sitting there like looking mopey, and this barbarian like bursts through like a wall, and he's like, "I have come to slay thee, vile lich," and he jumps up and he's like, "Fucking about time! It's been 700 years. Finish me!" Like, and so the barbarian, and he's like, "I am pure of heart, and I will this and that," and he like runs over and like runs him through with his sword. And the lich like looks at the sword and looks back and he said, "What the fuck? You said you were pure of heart." And he's like, "I am pure of heart. My intentions are true." And he's like, No. You've lain with the fairer sex." He's like, "What do you... Wait, I don't..." And he's like, "Get out of here. You said you were a virgin. Fuck off, man. Like, get out of here." He's all pissed because like no one can kill him unless they're a virgin or something. And all the like that's a common theme through the whole thing is like it's really hard to find virgins now. Like him and a vampire are complaining about it. But yeah, the whole premise is they're in a dungeon, and so like adventures just show up every once in a while, but most of the time it's just them like dealing with their problems and like being sad about stuff and wishing they could fuck each other. Like I really want to run a Dungeon Hearts game where everyone plays like the monsters in the dungeon that have been forced to live together, and now they're just trying to like deal with it. Yeah, and every once in a while, adventurers show up to fuck up everyone's day.
That sounds good. I'll play that.
Well, yeah. I've still been wanting to run the second chapter of the old second edition mod Reverse Dungeon. We did the first one, which was the Goblin.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That was really fun.
That was really fun.
which was the ironic birth of Nat.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you guys actually like playing horrible monstrous people who like killing each other? Awesome. Let's just roll with it.
Let's
Ooh,
do
let's
that.
make a whole game about it. Well, we just hit our hour, so I think we should probably wrap it up here for tonight.
All right.
So yeah, Hander's not here, but I don't think anybody's written an outro.
Well, you know what?
So you take it, Kurt.
Okay. Well, if you hung out with us tonight, you noticed that we took a break from our intro to role playing. At the moment, we feel like we've kind of covered a lot of the intro parts of role playing. In the future, we'll probably pick up a intro to GMing segment and do a few episodes on that until we feel like we've covered a lot of the introductory concepts there. So keep an eye out for that in the future. But if you'd like to contact us, do so. Hit us up, pixelscandal@gmail.com or @pixelscandal on Twitter.
Mike, what's that face? What's the face?
What's going on, Aristes?
Mike's.
You got a funny face going on.
You make it very very interesting looking face over there.
So that's
I'm looking through the people, the viewers on the chat, and I'm like, I'm gonna send a friend request to Nightsun and a friend request to Gidget.
You're like, I'm not friends with any of my friends online.
all right. And if you'd like to watch the show live, you can do so at twitch.tv/pixelscandal. Come by and give us a follow so you get updates when we go live. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I don't know, like and subscribe, share it with your friends and shit like that. That's how we grow, and that's how you encourage us to make more of this mediocre content. So
Yay,
do the thing.
Mediocrity.
In the meantime, we're gonna get the hell out of here. So good night, everybody.
Have a good rest of your weekend.
Have fun.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.